Astral projection begins with understanding that consciousness is not confined to the boundaries of the physical body. The physical body is the densest layer of your awareness, but it is not the limit of who you are. Your awareness naturally extends beyond your skin, beyond your senses, and beyond the structure of the nervous system. What you identify as you is only one expression of a much larger field of perception. When the physical senses quiet down and the internal senses rise to the surface, that wider field becomes accessible. The shift into an out-of-body state happens when your point of awareness disengages from its usual anchor, the physical senses, and begins operating through a subtler layer. This is not an escape, and it's not a departure. It is simply a relocation of consciousness. Just as you can shift your attention from your breath to a memory, or from your environment to an inner vision, you can shift your attention from the physical layer to the astral layer. The body remains alive, breathing, and functioning. Awareness simply steps back from the sensory stream and begins perceiving from a different vantage point. People unintentionally slip into this state more often than they realize. The moment right before sleep, where your sense of location begins to blur, is the beginning of the out-of-body mechanism. The sudden falling sensation some people feel as they drift off is the moment consciousness loosens its attachment to the body and then quickly snaps back. The feeling of floating during meditation is another precursor. These small moments are indicators that the boundary between physical and non-physical perception is far thinner than it appears. The astral body is the perceptual vehicle you use once this shift occurs. It is not a duplicate of your physical form, although many perceive it that way at first. It is a field of intelligence shaped by your identity, your expectations, and your energetic state. When consciousness operates through this field, movement is no longer mechanical. You navigate through intention. You perceive through sensitivity rather than sight. You move through resonance rather than muscle. Everything becomes immediate because everything responds directly to the quality of your awareness. This immediacy is why emotional regulation is essential. In the physical world, your thoughts and feelings take time to become experiences. In the astral, they shape your environment instantly. A moment of fear can distort your perception. A moment of curiosity can open a pathway. A moment of neutrality can expand your field. Consciousness sees itself without delay in that realm, which is why emotional honesty becomes a form of navigation. You're not punished for your emotions, you simply encounter them without the buffer that physical reality normally provides. The astral realm exists as a layer interwoven with the physical world but operating on a different bandwidth. It is structured, but not rigid. It contains landscapes, beings, and environments that feel familiar and foreign at the same time. Some areas mirror physical locations because your consciousness is hovering close to the material layer. Other areas feel symbolic or dreamlike, reflecting your internal landscape. And deeper still are collective spaces shaped by the consciousness of many beings, not just your own. This is why two travelers can visit similar environments despite never speaking to one another. One of the most important truths for beginners to understand is that you never lose connection to the body. The body is not abandoned during astral projection. It is in a sleep state, protected by its own intelligence, sustained by breath and heartbeat, and anchored to your awareness through a natural energetic tether. You do not control this mechanism, your consciousness does. The moment your attention returns to the physical layer, the shift back is automatic. There is no risk of drifting away or failing to return because the body is your default point of focus in this incarnation. Fear arises when people interpret unfamiliar sensations as danger. Vibrations, internal movement, changes in body size perception, the feeling of being pulled upward, or the silence that appears when the mind begins detaching from the senses, all of these are normal. They are the signs that consciousness is moving away from the physical point of reference. The body is not shutting down, it is relaxing into its restorative state while awareness remains active. Astral projection is not a supernatural anomaly. It is a built-in capacity of human consciousness. It reveals that the boundary between physical and non-physical is not a wall, it is a shift of perspective. Once you experience yourself outside the limitations of the physical senses, you begin to understand that identity is flexible, perception is fluid, and presence is not limited to form. This recognition becomes the foundation for all advanced work that follows.